Hey everybody, I'm Anthony.
I'm Zach.
I'm Sadie.
I'm Dane.
And who are you? Who are you? This is Tucker, and we are Schulz Unfiltered. Yes. It is springtime, and we have breath that smells like Doritos and goldfish, which is always fun. You know, we always got to get snacks going on. We're right in the middle of full-time sports, and so we thought it apropos to bring in Kealey Stanich, current athletic director, and one of my bosses in life, so to speak, because I am the coach at Inglemore, and to share and to hear and learn about you, and also I think for a lot of people listening, and for us, what you see trends and things good and bad in sports and high schoolers and where it goes, because we know that all of us play sports. And Tucker, you have a question?
Yeah.
What's your question?
We should tell them out there what we do for sports.
Yes. Okay. Why don't you tell us first? He can't be jumping up and down. You tell us. What do you do for sport?
Soccer.
Soccer and
The cross.
cross, like
The cross.
or lacrosse.
The cross.
That's right. Okay. Sadie, how about you?
Softball.
Softball,
I do lacrosse and soccer.
Lacrosse.
lacrosse. So we are lacrosse heavy.
Yes,
We
very
have-
much so.
I'm trying to think back on all the sports we have done. We have done soccer, basketball,
Football.
football.
What's win?
We all did football. No.
Except- well, before you were
Me and Noah
you
did
were
football.
you were little. You weren't able to do football at that point.
What's
Me and
Cross
Noah did
country, track. You guys swam for me.
Swam.
I did basketball, soccer. I did all the spring sports.
baseball?
Baseball, t-ball.
I did t-ball and normal.
We did flag football.
Flag football.
Flag
I'm
football.
talking. Thought up.
Yes, flag football.
I did it all my sports. I did.
Oh, gymnastics.
Gymnastics. Tucker, what else did you did?
I did
We
the
did
cross
take
I did the cross, basketball, soccer, t-ball, and baseball.
And we did. I did swim lessons.
Some lessons. Okay, so with 5 kids, we've done a little bit of everything.
Everything.
Yes, but before, so Kealy, Inglemore High School currently. Yes, we're thankful to have you here.
Thank
and,
you.
And maybe before we get into your background a little bit, you can touch on the fact that there is girls flag football
There
now in our area, because
yes.
Sadie brought that up. So what has that been like, having a new sport?
Oh, it's been exciting, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, bringing it to North Shore was huge. It's already pretty big in like the Tacoma area in Seattle, but bringing it more up north has been amazing. So hopefully next year, fingers crossed, it's a WIA sport, but
Yeah.
it will for sure be one of our King Coast sports.
Yeah, so that was a grant that you guys applied for?
Yeah, so actually your old boss and I, Yanni, in the spring applied for a grant with the Seahawks. And so they gave us $16,000 and we split that amongst the 4 high schools. So each high school got $4,000 of grant money, and then they got $1,800 in uniform money through Nike, and then we got all of the equipment donated to us.
Well, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was great. So now pretty much the start has happened for girls flag football, and now we just have to continue it, making it a King Coast sport, then making it a Washington State sport.
What colors are you?
What color?
Wait, yellow and Inglemore.
Yellow and black,
Black
yes.
and gold. But you would be, because of where we live, you would be playing for Bothell.
It's okay. I'll forgive you.
Who I mean, I don't want to rub it in, but they did win this year.
They did beat Inglemore in this championship game.
But you made it to the championship.
We made it to the championship. It was the 2 original high schools in the
If
championship.
my team made it to champions, we would have gone to Florida.
Oh, see, that's
Lost.
exciting.
Yes, we lost though.
When Inglemore plays Bothell in lacrosse, it's called the Spaghetti Bowl.
Oh.
Well, that's what
Can I
the
still-
football game used to be
Can
called
you get
too.
me still Inglemore merch?
I'm sure Kealy could hook us up with some.
Yeah,
Inglemore
so
merch.
you will still wear black and gold even though
Okay.
you will be a cougar.
Nice. Well,
Only for this season.
so what's it? So obviously sports are heavy in your life right now. It's a big concentration for you.
Yeah.
So growing up, were you always athletic? Did you play a lot of things?
Yeah, my parents definitely put me in sports all the time. They made me do t-ball. That was a no for me. I cried as soon as I went up to the mount. And so my parents were like, ooh, that's not for her. And then it was kind of like, okay, we got to get you busy in the summertime. So I went and did swim, and
Yeah.
I
Yes, good.
was around my area, I grew up in Leavenworth. So one, swim was not a sport at the high school. It was in Wenatchee, but you couldn't go participate there. And so it was really just a summer sport for me, but I competed for 8 years.
Was it like in a summer league?
Yeah, in a summer league, yeah.
Okay.
With a lot of the kids who competed in their high schools with Wenatchee or Eastmont. But yeah, so I did that and I fell in love with it. I was pretty good, I'm not gonna lie.
What was your stroke in event?
Breaststroke was my number 1, then backstroke was my number 2.
Backstroke. That was my stroke.
Yes.
Zach's been backstroke every meet for us this year.
It's great. I mean, yeah, but breaststroke was definitely the way I went. And then volleyball became my life at about 6th grade. So
Sixth grade.
yep, 6th grade, volleyball became my life, and that's where I went.
Tucker, you got a question?
What was your favorite video?
Oh, yes. What was your favorite video game when you were his age?
Oh,
Yeah.
ooh. I didn't play video games. My brothers did. I really liked watching.
Then what was your brother's favorite?
Ooh, one of the, like a racing game.
Like Mario Kart?
Yeah, something like that. Or I remember they had like a steering wheel that was kind of like their game controller. That's all I remember.
It's really like part of the
It was with the Wii, right?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't a Wii. I love that you guys
She's
think
a little bit, she's not that young.
I actually am really glad you guys think I'm that young, but I am a little bit older than that.
Okay,
Well, we're not talking like Atari.
Right
No.
now.
I know what you're talking about. Like, I've seen these on video where like 3 cameras and a steering wheel.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, exactly.
Nice. Well, were you just too good for video games?
Yeah, no, I just, I liked playing with Barbies and
okay.
that was really it.
That was it.
Yeah.
Nice. But then you got to 6th grade.
6th grade
And
volleyball.
volleyball
well,
was it.
cheer was always a part of my life too. I was always a little cheerleader.
Okay.
But
Got in when I was in elementary school, and we went to a football game to cheer, and I just stood there.
yeah, right?
didn't-
Like
I
those little
didn't
cheer
even-
camps, I did those,
I
but
didn't even
volleyball
cheer.
really came about. And then I tried basketball too, but I was too aggressive. My dad said I kept fouling out too much, so that's probably not the sport I should go. And I wanted to be a cheerleader in high school, so at Cascade and Leavenworth, you could choose to
Now,
be a
were
fall
you-
cheerleader or a winter cheerleader.
Were you fouling out because you like were intentionally hurting people or just like
yeah,
on
why
accident?
were they pushing me? I didn't understand.
No, so you pushed them back?
Maybe. Don't do that. Control your emotions.
No, wait. What? On my first game of basketball, like, and I was like,
Yes, that's exactly what Kealy was doing.
Yeah, that's exact. Yeah, and don't do that. All my athletes don't do that. Do
Don't
not
do
fight.
that.
okay.
During
One
sports.
time, I kind of remember my friend did this. He told me this. He was like, "Yeah, on my way, I'm trying to shoot." Then he did this and punched him in the face.
Oh
Well,
wow.
that
yeah.
would definitely be not good.
Yeah, not good.
Not
Don't
good
do
at
that.
all. Not good at all.
Yeah.
So, were you playing through the school on volleyball, or were you playing?
Yeah. So 6th grade, I mostly just played with like my brother. He really got me into it. But then 7th grade is when you could start playing middle school sports, and so I went right into it. Middle school volleyball. And
Okay. And when did you realize you first really enjoyed it?
I was just really good at, I mean, probably about when my brother introduced it to me, and I kind of realized I was pretty good at it. And then 7th grade, I realized I was very good at it, was more excelled in my skills, and yeah, just kind of went from there.
So, Sadie, you wanted to start playing volleyball this year. You said next year?
This year?
No, next year.
No.
You said.
You said, you
said.
little liar.
That's
You
right.
little liar.
I don't want to. That's it.
Not
I don't
anymore.
think it's even a sport.
It is in high school.
Yeah, it is.
It's definitely a sport.
Hold on, Tucker. So
It's
what,
in the Olympics.
yes.
Okay, if you do it one more time.
Tucker, stop, please. Hey, we're all done with that. So what else were you playing select or just through the
What's wrong
school?
with you?
Just through the school. So club wasn't very big.
Then?
Back in the day. I'm aging myself, and it was for the ones who had the money that they could play select, and that wasn't me. And there was only 2 options, which was Wenatchee or over in like the Ephrata area, really, or
So
like
it would have been a
Ellensburg.
big commitment to go
Yeah.
travel each way.
So But yeah, so I just played through the school and it was great. And our high school was really good at volleyball. So the high school coach was really involved with building the middle school program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got through high school, you playing volleyball,
Mm-hmm.
and then what was next step after that?
Well, so yeah, I cheered and played volleyball in high school. I was a cheerleader for basketball, and then I played volleyball in the fall. And then really just took spring off and still swam a couple of times in my freshman and sophomore year. But then I tore my ACL my sophomore year.
Oh, you did? Doing
Yeah.
what? Doing what?
Volleyball. My very first varsity game out.
Your first varsity game out?
When it was a jamboree.
Air AC.
No, it's ACL is in your knee.
Yeah, it's in your knee.
It's a joint.
It's a good ligament in your knee that pretty much keeps your top and the bottom half of your leg together. And that went away.
Yeah, that's why there's a big bump.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tore mine skiing in college.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, mommy told me that when we were going snow tubing.
That's right. So how long was your recovery? How long were you out for?
I was out for about a year. Definitely then ACL tears just with contact were not very common. And so it took a while for me to recover. So I did it at the beginning of my volleyball season in the fall, and then I was able to come back full speed. And I didn't have surgery till January either because they couldn't find it for a few months. They kept telling me my knee.
They couldn't find it?
No, they just told me my knee was sprained. They wouldn't do an MRI. They wouldn't do a ligament test. And they were like, oh, your knee's just sprained. Go back in 2 weeks. And they did that to me for about 3 months. And then finally my physical therapist was like, something doesn't feel right. And you should probably go get an MRI. So in December, I found out my ACL was torn. And it happened in September.
So you were just walking on.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Were you playing?
I tried coming back a couple of times, yeah. And it kept giving out on me, and it was just, it sucked so much.
It's like so frustrating.
Oh, so frustrating. Because obviously something was wrong, right? And my doctor kept saying, nope, it's just a sprained knee. Let the swelling go down. Do some physical therapy. Put a brace on it. You'll be fine. Obviously, I was not fine. By the time I got an MRI, my ACL was completely gone, and my meniscus was torn. So
what were the mental things that you were working on during that?
it was really tough because that was the year that we did the best we've ever done in our
team.
Yeah, on our team. We took third at state, and I was sitting the bench watching, and it really sucked because there was some times where it felt like my coach didn't believe me that something was really wrong because obviously the doctor kept saying it's just a sprained knee, nothing. I wasn't having evidence, so it kind of felt like I lost their confidence in me too, and it took a big strain on my mental toughness, definitely. So
then your junior year you got back.
I got back and I got put on JV.
Ugh.
Yikes.
Hold on, please.
Yep.
Right in the middle of it. Okay,
That still hurts me to this day.
now even a larger mental.
Yeah, that was really,
over.
I mean, it was do I continue doing this or not? It was a really big mental hurdle I had to get over. But I wasn't going to give up. I felt I was a swing player, but I just never really, I played a lot on JV, but it was just not the junior year you thought it was going to be.
Okay, so because Noah's not here, but we have several that are high school age that are the same thing. Like, you think you work hard, and you think you're at a level, and then the coach makes a decision that you don't agree with.
Yeah.
Reflecting back, what would you tell athletes now that are frustrated with what their coach's decision is based on what they think the athlete's perceived effort is compared to others on the field?
Yeah. Prove them wrong. I mean, honestly, I felt like I didn't prove my coach wrong. I kind of just settled, and I was like, okay, you put me on JV. I'm just going to go with it. And then I don't think I really pushed myself my JV year. I just kind of settled into.
So you kind of accepted it.
I accepted it, yeah. And so don't accept it. Like, keep proving them wrong. That's a really big injury to come back from, especially then when they were taking it from your patellar tendon instead of someplace a little bit more stronger, so it was a longer recovery. Don't accept it. Keep pushing, prove them wrong. And I really didn't do that the rest of my high school career. I mean, I got back on varsity when I was a senior because it was pretty much you're either on varsity or you get cut. And
Well, when you're a senior.
yeah, when you're a senior.
Yeah.
And I got put on varsity and I rode the bench. She didn't play me. She played me all summer. And then once league started, I stopped playing. And that really sucked. But I was there for the team. I wasn't really there for myself at that point. But then college came around and I played on the Eastern club team there. And that's a D1 club team that you're going up against D1 other players at other club teams.
So you had that experience in high school. Hold on, buddy. We're asking a question. You had that experience in high school that was maybe not fulfilling. So what kept you going to want to play in college?
I wasn't going to. I was kind of done. Unfortunately, that program killed my love for volleyball.
Your high school?
Yeah, okay. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
It wasn't, I don't think, intentional by my coaches. I don't think it was intentional because I had a lot of support with my athletic director, and he was a big part on me to continue playing. But I lost my love for it. But then freshman year came around, at Eastern, and my best friend's brother was the coach for the club team. And he was just like, it was January, and he's like, we just lost both our middles. Like, I need a middle. Like, can you please just come play for us? And so I went and I played, and I remembered how good I was, and I played, and I was fantastic. So, yeah.
Tucker, you have a question, buddy?
I got something to tell up.
What do you want to tell everybody?
I have a bad cough.
Oh.
That's why just a couple seconds ago, I was coughing really deep.
Oh, well, thank you. That clears it up. That's good for us to know. Thank you. Did you appreciate that as well?
I did, actually.
Yes.
I was wondering about it.
And what was your favorite movie when you were Dane's age? He's 10 right now?
11.
11.
11. Wow, you're really trying to make me think here. Well, I mean, my favorite movie growing up was a tie between Space Jam and Lion King.
Space Jam is so good.
Yeah, the older one, though, not the one with LeBron James. Because Michael Jordan is the GOAT.
Yeah, Michael Jordan.
No. The soccer goal is Messi.
Oh,
basketball.
yeah.
Basketball.
In basketball, though, that's it. I won't
Yes.
touch you with soccer. Yep. Messi is the GOAT in soccer.
Yeah. Okay.
We're not, no. It's not Ronaldo. Ronaldo sucked. He and second. Messi's
What accent are you trying to do right now?
Ronaldo won the world champ.
Yeah, Messi won. Hey, we're gonna go back to volleyball though. Okay, so what were you deciding to pursue in college besides playing volleyball?
I was wanting to be a health teacher. So
Okay.
that was also, so I was doing my health and fitness route there.
Did you know that you always wanted to do that?
I always knew I wanted to be a teacher. That was from kindergarten. I knew that. I'm not going to want to admit this, but I was the teacher's pet in almost every single grade.
Really?
And my parents would probably kill me if I didn't say that out loud because they always told me I was the teacher's pet. But I was definitely a teacher's pet, and I knew I wanted to be a teacher. I had so many teachers that were huge influences, and from Leavenworth, we're such a small community. They all knew me since I was like a baby too.
Yeah.
So I always wanted to be a teacher, but I didn't know I wanted to be a health teacher till I was about a junior. When actually my volleyball coach was my health teacher, and she was like, "You just really have a niche for this. Why don't you pursue this in college?" And that's what I did. So.
Okay, so did you play volleyball all 4 years there?
I played volleyball 3 years, and then I sprained my ankle pretty bad my last year playing, and my dad, after that tournament, looked at me. He's like, I can't keep watching you play if you're going to keep getting hurt. And it was pretty much like he just couldn't bear like me maybe getting hurt, and because of how bad I was getting hurt. Like, I mean,
You're just getting abused all the time?
I mean, it was just like that sprain was really bad. Like, I should have broke my ankle pretty much. It was that bad of a sprain where the doctor was like, you would have been better off breaking your ankle. You would have had an easier recovery. But I wasn't going to miss nationals that year. So my dad taped my ankle like 4 different ways so I could play. And he was just like, this can't be your life. Like, you need to choose
Recover.
either. Yeah, he's like, you need to choose either to stop playing volleyball or us coming and watching you is going to be really hard because we just can't keep watching you get hurt. Because through my ACL, through that injury, it was just a really big... It was a big toll on my parents, too, watching it.
So you graduated in 4 years?
Graduated in 5 years.
5 years, okay. And then you had to get your master's in teaching, or what did you do?
No, I just got my bachelor's in teaching in health and fitness.
Okay.
And then I took a job down in California for a year.
Moved down to Kealy. Well, why'd you want to go there?
I didn't. But when I went to this job fair, that was during the year where a lot of people weren't hiring full-time. Teachers, it was mostly part-time. I would have loved to stay in the Spokane area, but they weren't hiring full-time teachers, and which was lucky because the next year they went through a huge budget crisis to where they cut like the bottom 20% of their teachers.
In Spokane?
In Spokane.
Oh, okay.
So it was like I would have gone cut the next year anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I went to this job fair. I went around. Actually, North Shore was one of the districts that it was showing. But my best friend was like, oh, I love that area because she was from this side of the mountains. And I was like, oh, I'm not touching foot on the west side of the mountains. Like, I'm from Leavenworth, I'm from a small little town. Cheney was just good enough for me. I'll stay in Spokane, but I'm never going over there. And so my relationship at the time, he was from Vegas, and he's like, why don't you go look in California? And I was like, sure, why not? And there was this school in the middle of the high desert, and they offered me the job right then and there. I should have known that.
Look at you. You have a pulse. We're going to hire you.
I should have known not to take that job. But I was like, you can do anything for a year. You really can. You can do anything for a year and push through it, learn from it. And that's what I did down in California. It was in 29 Palms, which is right above Palm Springs by Lake Joshua Tree.
Oh, yeah.
And I taught there for a year, and it was an amazing experience. A very interesting experience. But once I got kicked in the face in my locker room, breaking up a girl fight.
Oh, yeah, you actually got kicked in the face.
I actually got kicked
Not
in the face.
Not a metaphorical kick in the face.
No, she actually kicked me in the face. And I was like, I don't think this is where I need to be. I want to go home.
Yes, what do you want to ask?
Yes.
One time my friend, we were playing soccer at morning care, and I kicked the ball. I drop kicked it, so I put it in the air, kicked it, but it wasn't going, so the ball landed like,
Oh,
right in his face.
Right in his face.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it felt like when the girl kicked me.
No,
But
and his nose is bleeding.
Yeah,
really
mine
bad.
too.
Yeah, but you were trying to break something up.
I was trying to break up a fight,
Yeah.
between two girls, and the one girl that was on the bottom didn't want me to pull the other girl off, so she decided
She wanted to keep going.
she wanted to keep going, so she kicked me off.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
Yeah, so that was kind of the day where I went and sat in the VP's office, and I was like, I can't do this. He goes, so I'm assuming you're leaving after this year, and I was like, yeah, I'm going home.
Yeah.
I want to go back to Washington. I'm good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, other than that, did you enjoy the subject matter you were teaching?
Yeah, I mean, there I was just teaching PE. It was 9th grade PE, and it was really hard because there were 60 plus kids in each one of my classes.
In each class?
In each class. And down there, it was definitely a roll the basketballs out type of PE class because there just wasn't enough equipment. We only had one gym, and then outside, which was dirt, and sometimes it was 112 degrees, so you couldn't be outside. So you're literally having 150 kids in one gym, just walking around.
Then how would they get out recess if
They don't have recess.
Yeah, they don't have recess in high school.
They're older kids.
Yeah, it's high school.
How about with the little kids?
Well, there's different schools, so I mean, there was room for it. It was just high school, though. Yeah.
So you said c'est la vie and move back.
Yeah, I moved back, and then I got my foot in the door in North Shore. I taught elementary PE for 1 year. That's also not my forte.
Which school was that at?
Canyon Creek and Frank Love.
Okay, and Frank. Oh, you had to split your time?
Yeah, I had to split my time that year, and wasn't even a full time. I was only a 0.8, so I wasn't a full time teacher. And elementary is also not my forte. It's just I mesh well with high school age kids, and so I just wanted to get my foot in the North Shore. And then the next year, Inglemoor was hiring. So I applied for that job and I got it to be the health and fitness teacher. So
Nice. And so how and what classes were you teaching there?
So when I was there, I was teaching health, advanced weights, and I taught a team sports class and a life fitness class. Between the
Zach's doing weights right now.
yeah. Yeah, that's my forte, like health and advanced weights.
Yeah. Well, advanced weights. What's the difference between regular weight and advanced?
I mean,
weight?
it's more. It's so life fitness is like your 9th grade PE, kind of learning how to lift, right? And then advanced weights is like you've already taken that life fitness class, and then you go into weights.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
Nice. And then so how long were you doing that before you became the athletic director?
So I started at Inglemoor in 2019, and then COVID hit.
Yes.
And then I was teaching through COVID, so 2019, 2020, then 2020, 2021, and then 21, 22, and then I got the athletic director job in the 22, 23 school year.
And was it ever on your radar to be an athletic
It
director?
was actually. That was
Okay.
kind of my underneath. No one really knew that was my main goal.
How long had that been your goal for?
High school. So
Oh.
that was kind of the one where I was like, I knew I was going to be a teacher, but my athletic director at high school, Mr. Daly, he was a huge
Daly.
influence in my life. Honestly, every day, he's probably the main reasons why I kept involved in a lot of athletics at Cascade. And yeah, so I was like, God, I love that. And still being a part of athletics. And then during COVID, I'm just sitting at home and I was like, what am I doing? Like, I need to either continue my education. I'm just sitting at home. Like, I can take on some online classes. And I started looking at it and I could get my master's in athletic administration. And I go, yep, that's it. Like, I'm pulling the plug. And so I got my master's during COVID to be a athletic administrator. And then I started the journey then.
And then Lance resigned.
Yes. So, which is funny because
Hey, stop it.
3 months before he resigned, he hired me as his volleyball coach.
Oh, really?
Yes. He hired me to take over the Inglemoor volleyball program. So, and he had been trying that for like 3 years. Since I stepped foot on the Inglemoor campus, he was like, cool, you want to be my volleyball coach? And I was like, I coach at Edmonds. Like, I coach at Edmonds College. I don't want to.
Oh, so you had kept coaching the whole time.
Mm-hmm, yeah. And so, and I was like, no, like I want to stay at the college level. And he's like, okay, well, I have a job for you. And then finally I was done coaching at Edmonds and I was like, okay, I think I'm ready. And he's like, great, the spot is yours. And then he left 3 months later.
And then he said, he said, I'm in.
Yeah, I said I'm in, and then he was like, oh, I got another job. And I was like, I want to be an athletic director, and now you're just leaving, but you just hired me as your head coach, and now I'm just supposed to leave these girls after 3 months? Like, and he was like, well, good luck.
Okay, wait. I know how to make you laugh in one fart.
Yes. And this is why we call it unfiltered. Because
Yes,
you never know
very
what
much
exactly
so.
what is going to happen. So I would say you had a personal experience with your athletic director as an athlete.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you for giving us a personal experience with you too. And how many students were at this Cascade when you were there?
We were a 1A school, so I graduated with like 84 kids in my class. So we were around like 300 or something.
And Inglemoor currently has how many?
Inglemoor currently has, I think we're sitting at 1,500 right now, 9 through 12
students.
Yeah.
So, how have you strived, or was it your goal to make it a more personal experience for you as an AD with that many students? Like, it can't have the same.
No,
experience.
It's definitely not the same experience. And it's hard, right? Because we also offer so many more sports than what Cascade offered.
There's badminton and crew.
Swimming. That's even, gymnastics. We had the basics, right? Cross country, volleyball, soccer in the fall, basketball, wrestling in the winter.
And cheer.
And then in the spring, it's like your track, soccer, softball, baseball. Like, it's so much easier. You don't have as many sports to cover, where we have 20 something sports throughout the whole year. So it's just, it's difficult, but I try my best. I mean, I don't have to really meet with the students that aren't athletes. So I try my best to get to know a lot of the athletes on the teams, but it's hard. It's really hard.
So what were the things that you came in wanting to be your, I'll say, campaign points, and how have they morphed since you've been there for a couple years now?
Student focus was a huge one. I just kind of sitting around Inglemore being a teacher, I noticed there wasn't a lot of student focus in the athletics department. No diss to Lance, but and he'll actually tell you I'm a better athletic director than him. And I'm putting that on here and then he'll know. But he knew too that there needed to be more connection with the students, and I knew that I could bring that. And so that was my biggest part, is I wanted to connect with the athletes. I wanted to make sure they knew who I was, and that I was able to listen to what they weren't happy about, what they were happy about, and make that connection.
And that's really what you wanted that connection to be, is for them to be able to have a point of contact besides their coach.
Yes.
So you know how their experience with sports was going.
Yeah. And and have someone that, because a lot of kids, right, they're not comfortable with their admin, with their assistant principals, or with the principal, or with their teachers. They want someone they can connect with that understands them. And that's when athletic director can help with. I mean, a lot of these kids, they come to school because of athletics. They stay in class because of athletics. And so really it's not their teacher or their assistant principal that they want to go talk to. It's the person that they have the common interest with. And so that's how I'm able to make those connections with those kids. And that's all I want. I'm not, the admin part of being an athletic director does not fancy me whatsoever.
It's a lot of paperwork.
It's a lot of paperwork. But that doesn't, it's going and talking to the kids. It's seeing them on the first day of practice, or their very first meet, or their very first game, to their very last one, and seeing how much they improve throughout the whole season. That's what I love about this job. And so that's what I knew what was missing at Inglemore, and just rebuilding the Inglemore brand. Inglemore used to be the top school. They used to be the school that,
when I was there,
right? It used to be the school that everyone respected in North Shore. And then it kind of veered away in the last 10 to 12 years. And so I want to bring that back. There are a lot of people in our community that are proud to be Vikings. I just want everyone to be proud that they're Vikings. So, yeah.
Yes. Well, what do you say to a lot of student athletes, or what are some of the trends you see in things that are going good for student athletes and some that are maybe just shy away from?
Being comfortable in what they're doing. I see a lot of student athletes that don't think that they can succeed in what they're in the sports that we have.
Sports or school?
In sports and in school, right? A lot of them, they have trouble with, especially let's go school wise, they have trouble in a lot of their classes. I mean, we have some pretty hard classes at Inglemore, and many of our, especially the COVID years, took away a couple years from their education, right? And so they're struggling right now. And so what I think I can at least help them do is give them those resources that they need, study groups, or having the confidence to go tell their teacher, I don't understand something and they need help. That actually happens a lot. I have students come in and they're just like, well, I just don't understand what I'm learning. Well, have you asked your teacher? No, I don't want to talk to them. And I'm like, well, what if I go with you to go talk to them? Or what if I start the email chain with your teacher that you need help with something? And that usually gets them a little bit out of there.
Which is interesting to me, because I think if you play sports in any way,
yeah,
and I think most people, I tell them all the time, no matter what your sport you're playing, be aggressive.
Yeah.
It can always be, whatever you're doing, you can be aggressive in it.
Yeah.
And so, which I akin to being an advocate for yourself, and how that should translate to life. But it's almost like they haven't learned how to translate that skill yet between being aggressive on the field and then advocating for themselves in the classroom and elsewhere.
Exactly. They don't. And I've also seen a lot of them have kind of lost those skills of being leaders too. I mean, I think you and I have even talked about it. Just these leader skills of athletes are not there. And so finding captains that really work for our teams are just not there. Like, yeah, they're great people. They're really great at the sport, but they don't know how to continue that leadership throughout not only themselves, but their team. And so those are things that I feel like I'm having to start teaching them and bringing into the athletic department, that we need some sort of like leadership class or like a leadership club that I help these kids learn how to be a leader and be aggressive in their own self, while it's in academics or on the field or the pool or anything. There is a disconnect there right now. You're definitely seeing it.
Yes, Tucker?
When are we leaving?
We're almost. You have to get to lacrosse here in a little bit too, aren't we? We're getting there. Well, what are some of the things you see as trends that are? So I don't want, the self-harm's not the wrong word, but that are working against kids when they're trying to pursue athletics.
I think, man, that's a hard one.
I would say grades.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is academics.
Like, because if you don't have grades, you can't play. Like, you don't have good grades, you can't play.
Or money financially. That's
Yeah.
a big one too. Or unfortunately, like the club world has really taken over. And to where kids think if you're not playing a select program in the sport that you're wanting to play, you're not going to be able to play at the high school. And that was completely opposite when I was in school. It was, well, no, you played high school. And then if you were good enough in high school, you go and play select. But now it's like
Everybody's playing select everything, which has diluted the high school.
It has,
pool
yeah. Our
a lot.
participation numbers have gone down, or kids choose that because they are playing one sport only, they have to play that select sport all year round. So then there goes the other 2 seasons. So yeah, I think that's a huge one too. So not only academics, but financial reasons, and if they don't have all these other opportunities that they can grab onto.
So and the age old, what's your opinion on overuse of one sport all year versus multi-sport athlete?
I am not a fan of a one sport athlete. I think each sport makes you do different things with your body. And so when you change your body to strengthen those other parts of it that aren't being touched in one sport, then you're going to grow bigger and better as an athlete. Where if you just stick to one sport, you're just working that sport. You're just working those body parts. And so therefore you're going to get more overuse. That's just, I played volleyball most of the time, and my knees and my shoulder are definitely done for.
Because of that one sport you did.
Yeah, because of that one sport I did. I didn't really do other ones. I wish I would have. I wish I would have done, I did cheer, which we didn't do competition, but so I got a little bit of a break in the winter, but then I was spring, summer, I was volleyball. Yeah. And I wish I would have done track or tennis or anything else just to do something.
Just to have the experience.
Yeah, but I didn't.
Because I think in the end, I don't know, you probably know better than me, the percentage of athletes that actually go on to play in college is like 1%?
It's less than 10%.
Less than 10%.
Even less than 8%.
Okay, so so high school sports then really are about something that you've worked with since you were 3 or 5 that you enjoy to get the ultimate experience, and I think have teammates and camaraderie and friendship one last time.
Yeah.
So that's, and then, but how do you convey that to kids? A lot of times I think they almost feel like it's too much, or there's stress, or there's burden along with sports and everything. Along with school and everything else. They almost still feel like they don't have time. I think they're just missing so much if they don't continue.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that just to the point of view is saying like academics, right? Like why they don't play a lot of sports is because they're so stressed and wrapped around their academics that they don't see that, yes, athletics is a big commitment, but it's also a huge outlet for kids. And like I said, many of the kids at Inglemoor that I can speak of would not be coming to school if it wasn't for athletics.
So what is your, as not only North Shore, but school districts around the country are facing budget shortfalls, and athletics is one of the things that could get cut. What is your talking point, I'll say, to say why in the middle school and high school it should be, you shouldn't be cutting anything?
Where are those kids going to go? I just got done with winter, so I talked with my wrestling coaches, and one of my wrestling coaches is a middle school coach. He has 60 kids out.
In middle school?
In middle school. Where are those kids going to go when they now do not have that sport anymore? For 2 hours in the day, we finally know where these kids are at. They're going to school the whole day because they have to go to school to be able to do this sport. So where are they going to go? What if their parents work until 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and their parents, this works out great, right? Not to say it's free childcare, but your kids, it's constructive for your kids to do. What are they going to do? And when you take away middle school sports and then you start talking about taking away the lower teams at high schools, like C teams, you just depleted programs. I mean, there's no way for them to grow. And so what are these kids going to do without athletics? And I turn back to many of these kids come to school and do well in classes because there's something that is a prize for them. And that's athletics for most of them.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think about that? Hey, we're almost done.
I mean, yeah, that sports is an outlet, and kids do go to school just to do sports, and
all of our sports teams at Cedar Park are bad. There's not one good team except volleyball.
Yes, sometimes at the 1A level it can be a challenge.
Yes,
in
you
sports.
guys used to be really good, by the way. I was in the 1A realm. Cedar Park used to be a top-notch school. So
it just depends on the sport
Yeah.
and the coach. It comes and goes in ways.
Yeah, we also don't have good coaches.
Well, there's that. But you guys I've always encouraged you guys to do multiple sports. Now it's kind of
Well, then you have to be good at every single one of those sports.
well, but you took a long time to find things you guys enjoyed, and now you're kind of honing in on one or two.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of work. I mean, Zach.
How
Zach,
are you even gonna have time to do all sports if you play club for all sports?
It's hard.
we'll see. That's
but
why I
Zach
think
does-
club takes away from.
Club takes away from.
But then you're
Yeah.
not learning anything if you're not playing club because everyone is like sucks.
Sadie's in a hard spot because she plays softball, but she's in middle school, and so there's not a school team for any, whether it's private school or public school.
Yeah.
And there's club. There's 1,000 club teams, or there's Little League.
Yeah.
But the Little League which is the community sport, suffers because everybody pays or does the club,
Yeah.
which is $4,000, $5,000, $6,000.
Which is so weird because
Yeah.
in Leavenworth, at my middle school, we had softball. Like, that was a sport that you could do in middle school. So it's like, it's so interesting to me that we don't have that as an option in middle school because, again, like you said, right, you don't get those opportunities. You have to pay to go do club, and so you're not getting those opportunities in your high school. So I understand that one.
Yeah, it's big. But I with swimming, we've talked about it before. Kids are up at 5 a.m. and they're working out for an hour, and then they're going to school. And a lot of kids anymore, they're doing IB or music or anything else.
Exactly.
And for me, it's such a good training ground for life. Like, life doesn't get easier when you graduate. It's harder, and you have to work at balancing all these things. And I always tell them at the end of the season, hey, you've done something that 90% of adults can't do, which is get up, work out, and get ready for your day from
I can't
there.
do that.
I
mean, I came once to a practice at 5 o'clock, and you had to text me to make sure I was even on my way.
It's like, are you awake? Are you coming?
Like, am I actually? And I told it that's I can't do that.
Yes. Well, Zach and Noah did. I don't know if they're going to come back next year, but like Zach gets up now. He goes to jazz band early, and then school, and then lacrosse is 7:30 to 9:30 at night.
So when I was doing swim, this on the worst days, it would wake up for swim at 4:30, get there at 5:10 to be on time, leave at 6, go straight home, change, shower, and then be at school at 7 for jazz band, and then go through school, and then have lacrosse practice right afterwards.
After school.
Yeah.
And homework.
That is
And homework.
ridiculous.
It's
I mean,
crazy.
yeah, right?
Yeah. And then I need those are like the worst days out of the week. And then I also need to balance all that with homework and education. So it was a lot. So probably not again.
Probably not.
probably not again.
Not doing swim again.
Probably not again. But I think there's a reason why so many student athletes are successful, because of all the things that they have to balance.
Yeah. I mean,
as
it
they
definitely teaches you lifelong lessons.
Yeah.
I mean, athletic directing
Maybe just
especially.
schools should just stop assigning so much work that's not even helpful.
So much homework.
So much homework. Yeah, I
Not
mean,
even useful. Why do they assign it?
not having you do 7 hours of
And they
homework
always say
every single night.
like they assign it so like it's good practice, like you're learning like life skills. By what? writing down some numbers on a piece of paper. You're not learning any life skills doing that. You're learning life skills for your attitude. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Like,
You're really excited about homework, aren't you? Nice. Well, good. Well, we appreciate you coming on and sharing with
Thanks
us
for having
everything
me.
about student athletes, and hopefully this helps out everybody else out there. It's not working over there,
And
so
like, every time we go this way, it goes that way. Every time I go this
Yeah,
way.
it's like a mirror, Tucker.
yeah, it's a mirror. It's backwards. It's a backwards mirror. So, but you can check us out on Instagram, on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, all the places for podcasts. Look for Schulz Unfiltered. Thanks so much, everybody. See you next time.
Thank you.